Suneera Madhani. Suneera Madhani.
Without much further ado, I'd like to welcome Suneera.
Hi, I'm Suneera Madhani, a mom of two, daughter of an immigrant, and an unlikely entrepreneur who built a billion-dollar business. Yes, billion. Now I'm doing it again and building my second unicorn, Worth. Shockingly, less than 2% of female founders ever reach 1 million in revenue, and I'm on a mission to change that. At CEO School, we mentor thousands of women to help them level up in business and in life. We believe that you deserve to have it all because honestly, nothing bad happens when women make more money. Grab a seat because class is officially in session. Welcome to CEO School. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the CEO School podcast. I'm your host, Suneera Madhani, and today I am just so thrilled to introduce our guest because this is a woman who just was on the cover of Inc. magazine's Women issue 2025 in March, and she's a dear friend. But outside of just being this trailblazing entrepreneur, which I'm going to read you her bio, you're going to get to know her. She is somebody that I admire so much as a mother, as a founder, as an advocate for women, as an advocate for, everyone having a seat at the table. And she is just as beautiful on the outside as she is on the inside. I've gotten to know her over the last year and a half through our community Millionaire Founders Club, and Patty Arvielo is here today with us. And I'm just so excited for you to get to know her sage, her wisdom, and her experience as an entrepreneur. Patty, welcome to CEO School.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have you. So Patty Arvielo is the co-founder and CEO of New American Funding. It's literally one of the fastest growing independent mortgage lenders in the country. For over decades, she's been building this business. I'm going to let you tell her story, but it has grown into a national powerhouse with over 260 locations, 4,000 plus employees, hundreds of millions in revenue, and billions in value. Like, Patty is a Latina powerhouse who built this from scratch. She is on the list of every list, and it's so well deserving, from Forbes 50 over 50, on the cover of Inc. magazine. She literally has an entire business program, a business degree named after her. It is unbelievable, her experience, and now she's focused on what's this next chapter in her life, legacy. We're going to talk all things on her family, how she built this, but we have so many lessons that we're going to unpack here today from Patty. So Patty, we're just so excited to have you. Thank you for sharing this space with us today. Let's get started. Tell us a little bit about your journey. Take us back as early as you want.
Well, that would be a really long podcast. I started when I was 16. I fell into the mortgage industry, but I started working when I was 12 years old, cleaning real estate offices with my mom. So, my entrepreneurial journey started really in my 30s when I was tested to become an entrepreneur. I think some of us try to be entrepreneurs and some of us are made entrepreneurs. I definitely was pushed to be uncomfortable with risking what I had earned thus far in myself. So, I fell into the mortgage industry. I started to figure out really early on that there was really good money to be made hourly, because that's what we looked at when you're 16, right? But I was super fortunate when I was 19 that a gentleman said, you know what, here's a box of cards, go ask real estate agents for loans. And I'm like, okay, I can do that. And, I was just really fortunate to find my passion at 19. So I think if you find your passion, everything else comes along with that ride. So I was really fortunate to have that at a very young age. And then I started to just stumble around, right? There's no school for mortgage. There wasn't any training manuals or a trade school. So I just really kind of stumbled in and made a lot of mistakes and never made them twice, and built this really wonderful company over the last 21 years with my partner and co-CEO and my husband, Rick Arvielo. So, it's been a tremendous journey. I will tell you, it goes really fast. It goes really fast. When I was 40, I was like, when I'm 60, I'm just not going to be doing this anymore. Well, I turned 60 in January, so I'm still knee deep in it. I'm really
Happy
passionate
belated
about
birthday.
romance.
I saw you threw
Thank
yourself a fabulous party.
I did. I mean, that's what you do, right? You
Yeah.
celebrate life. So yeah, it's been an incredible journey and just filled with all kinds of nuggets. And like I think I told you before we went on, I'm still searching. Like you're still searching, right? And that's kind of the fun part. I'm still learning. I'm still searching. I'm still trying to be a better leader.
I mean, it's just so incredible. I have so many questions. So let's jump right in. What's it like working with your husband? For 20 plus years, you've built the business. I know many entrepreneurs are always seeking that partner. It's so lonely to do it. Faisal and I could never work together. Like we work together in different capacities, but I feel like we would drive each other off the it would just not work. I would love to get your advice for founders that are looking to work with family. I mean, I work with my brother, which other people can't do that either. But would love to get your take on working with your husband. What's that been like?
Yeah. So, if it works, it's the most wonderful thing in the world. I could see why it doesn't work, but I think, that's probably the number one question we both get asked. And we figured out early on that, we run very different parts of the company. What I'm really good at, he's not. What he's really good at, I'm not. And there's this tremendous amount of respect for each other and our skills. So even those days where I'm like, I don't love him today, I always respect him. So respect over love has always been really high in our relationship. I think he's the best in the industry. He thinks I'm the best in the industry. So that's why we don't cross paths a lot in what we do at New American Funding. He seeks my advice for what I'm good at, and I seek his advice for what he's good at. So that's where it works. It's just making sure that the skills we're both bringing to the table are different.
I think that's spot on. And I feel like that's what works for me and Sal, my brother, as well. It's like we're not in each other's lanes at all. It's like, this is what he's good at. This is what I'm good at. And you're totally right. If you're staying out of each other's lanes, that's how it works. And then there's that respect factor. I love how you positioned respect over love. And I think that goes with any partnership, is when you start to lose that respect, that's when it doesn't work out. Yeah. And so I love that that's how you guys are been able to really make it work for, and I do think that when you do have, it's two brains are greater than one. When you do have two really strong partners or multiple founders that can bring unique things to the table, you are able to divide and conquer and go so much further and faster. So I'm sure that's been such a huge vantage point. And now with the family, right? Since it's a family business, what's next? Like this huge company that you've built, what's your legacy? Are you bringing your children in succession planning? Are they going to be running the business? What are those conversations like in your household?
Well, fortunately, my daughter married this incredible young man. I hit the son-in-law lottery. He and Tara have been together since they're 10 years old. They're 33 now. He just turned 34, and they have two wonderful grandkids. But literally, he's the one who's actually in our business. My youngest son he's 20 years old, started his own company, but it's his own company. I think a lot of times when you are successful parents, it's really hard on your kids because they feel like they need to measure up. And so we kind of gave them their own wings, right? You can do whatever you want to do. There's no pressure to be in a mortgage. And so our oldest child's really successful. He's going to be 35, and he started a hotel brand, very successful in New York. And my daughter is an insane mother, and that's why I know I'm a good mother, because she watched me being a mom, and she's even better than I am. And then our youngest son's just 20, started his own company already. And so, succession planning hasn't come from within the family. My dad still works for NAF. He's 84 years old. He shows up every day. My cousin, my ex-husband works at NAF. He's been there 12 years. So I try to keep as many people in my family and in my circle, in my company. My best friend from high school works at NAF. But as far as blood relatives, my kids have decided to do their own thing, and they're very successful. So I'm super proud of them.
That's really awesome. I love that advice, especially for so many women here listening, that we're building businesses to, for legacy or for exit, but it could look different in so many ways. And I think what you said about having successful parents and then feeling that need to live up to it, I mean, those are definitely conversations that we have for, for our family of, as, we're building family businesses. What do we want? I mean, they're so young, but I never want to force them into a path that, it's not their full potential and it's not what they want to do. And so I just appreciate that perspective to let their wings fly. And then, if there is an opportunity to bring them in and that's natural fitting, that makes sense. But that's I think that's super wonderful. And my mom will tell you that she also hit the son-in-law jackpot. So she lives across, she did hit the son-in-law jackpot. They're so close, annoyingly close. Like
I know, same with mine.
Annoyingly close.
It's the best.
It is the best. It is the best. I love watching your family. If you guys aren't following Patty on social, I feel like she has that similar, I feel like we have a lot in common of how much our family is with us and involved and always traveling and doing the most wonderful things. So definitely go check out her family and her social. And it tells that story, really beautifully. Okay. So my next question to you is, I want to talk about the second stage in careers. So, you were on the list of Forbes 50 over 50, which I think is the most incredible list that they're doing that. And it really does for me show that I don't have to be stuck in anything. I could completely change paths if I wanted to, in my 40s or in my 50s. What advice do you have for women who might be stuck in their career or might be stuck in their entrepreneurial journey? And that, what's beyond 50 for them? So I'd love to kind of get your advice on this and your perspective.
Well, I hope Forbes comes with a Forbes 60 over 60, and I make that list since I hit that milestone in my life a couple of months ago. It does change for decades, right? If you think about it, 20s you used to mess around, screw everything up, test everything. 30s you're starting to stabilize. 40s are really when I started to kind of hone in on who I was as a person and an entrepreneur. I mean, I remember at 40 and I was sitting at my desk going, oh my God, am I just lucky? I mean, I suffered imposter syndrome before anybody even knew what it was. I doubted my self-worth because I didn't have a title of, I didn't have an MBA. I didn't go to college. And I'm like sitting there thinking, why is this happening to me? So realizing that I was smart in different ways at 40 and already having 2 older kids and giving birth to another one at 40 when I didn't plan it. I mean, your life just takes you in all these different directions. So I think building confidence through decades of growth is really important, because when you turn 60, it's different, because now you're hopefully not working to make it anymore, right? You've made it. You're whatever, if it's tied to monetary, if it's just tied to being happy and fulfilled. At 60, it's different. So what do I want to risk now to keep growing? So I know that I won't risk my mental health and I won't risk my sanity to compete anymore, right? I know what I have and what I've built is enough for me and my family. So right now, my 60s are just to give back. I mean, I find a lot of fulfillment being around women like you, other women, because I was super lonely. And, that whole lonely at the top phrase, it's real. It's real. Like when I talk about certain things that might cause me angst, it would sound really bad if I talked to somebody who wasn't at my level. But yet it still causes me tremendous angst and pain. When I deal with issues and kids in my family, like they're probably thinking, oh, her life's so perfect, so easy. It's not. And I suffer a lot and I'm lonely a lot in my conversations. So, and not all of us can just go to our husbands, right? Because they're male and he doesn't really understand that. When I looked at a picture of me a couple of weeks ago and I'm like, oh my God, I literally cried. There's so many wrinkles I didn't have before. And I'm okay with it. It's life, right? But it still doesn't mean that when you look at yourself and you're aging and beauty becomes something different than exterior. I know I'm beautiful on the inside and I shine. And girl, I have more energy than most 40-year-olds in a room. I am at the nightclubs on a table. I love music and I love to throw people parties. It's not that. It still shows that life is happening and it goes by fast. So it's more symbolic for me. Mm-hmm. But I went to tell my husband, he's like, oh my gosh, how are you even upset? You're so beautiful. I love that he said that, but we still suffer inside, and things will make us upset that may not seem important to somebody else or seem that it's so basic. Why would you be upset? I think it just, when I looked at that picture, it just showed me that life has passed me by. Like I'm at this different part of my life. I looked at it that way more than the wrinkles. I was just like, okay, this is happening. Like, you know, so.
And sometimes you just need a good cry, right? Like if you can even like afterwards realize to be like, no, of course I know this, but in these moments, like, where do you go? You're totally right. Like, you feel judged for having even some of those emotions, and you want to be around spaces that you could just be. We all have that in our head. I feel that way. I'm entering my 40s right now. I look at myself. We've been talking a lot about the cringe, and I said something the other day, and one of my friends was like, I love that you said that. I was like, I'm trying to embrace the cringe, because if I look back and it's like how I dressed, or a photo, or the first time I did a podcast, or I gave a speech, if I don't have cringe, like, I'm growing. And that's what that means, is I'm like looking at myself, and I'm not trying to judge the old me, but it's natural. And I'm just trying to embrace the cringe of like, okay, I've grown up, or this is like where I'm at. But those moments are real. And when you said the word good enough, I want to actually pull on that, because when did that happen for you? Because I think that is game changer, is that word good enough. Every year in my living room, me and two girlfriends, we get together and we do this kind of like a vision board, a modern day vision board session, but we've been doing it without like magazine things. Like, we sit down and we reflect on what, happened last year. What are things we want to let go of? What are kind of like our words of the year? And we just know each other in a different way. So we hold each other accountable. So we can't bullshit each other like in what we're coming up with. And my friend Kelly, she was like, her word of the year was just good enough. And I'm like, oh my God, why aren't we taught that? So that to me has been so novel, and I've been trying to use that. Everyone like, it's good enough. It's good enough. You said those words right now, and I got goosebumps. When did that happen for you? And tell us more about this good enough, and when did that shift take place?
I think a lot of it is, I think about how I grew up, and I grew up with an immigrant mother. She's Mexican. And she, had me when she was 19. And I think she always kind of protected myself and my siblings by just letting us know that, I don't know, it was kind of like when I ran for Miss La Mirada and I told her, and she's like, oh no, you're going to embarrass the whole family, Patty. Like she didn't want me. And I didn't take it that she didn't think I was pretty enough. It wasn't that. I know now that she told me those words because she didn't want me to be disappointed by others judging me for whatever, right? I ended up winning, and she ended up being my biggest fan. But, my mom wasn't the one that was giving me advices of empowerment. Like, you can do this. You can run an empire. You can be wealthy. You can do this. No, it was like, you can be a dental hygiene. I don't know. Like, she didn't give me enough to strive for, but it wasn't because she didn't believe in me. I think she's just protecting me. And so I never had this family that gave me this sense of I was going to be something. I walked onto a college campus and walked off. I have a learning disability. I have severe ADD. I was not good in school. I didn't get good grades. So I never had this tool, this measurement tool of going, the straight A student, or my son who graduated magna cum laude. Like, I never had those titles. So I didn't have anything to hold on to let me know that I was smart. So that took myself to kind of figure out, in my 40s when our company's growing. And of course, I had the best partner, and he will tell you he had the best partner because I was the one with all the vast mortgage experience. He wasn't even in the mortgage industry, my husband, when he got into. I brought him into the industry. He's in marketing. He kind of just blew up our company, right? But in my 40s, when I saw the company growing and then interviewing people who I admired, who wanted to come work for me, that was like, I'm thinking, oh my God, he just took that job offer. He took it and he's excited. I'm like, why? So it was in my early 40s. And then I figured out what imposter syndrome was, and I read the definition. I'm like, oh my gosh, my limiting beliefs, it just was everything that I didn't know that I was. So I started to really kind of break through that. And I'm still breaking through it, I'm still breaking through it. Like, somebody offered me a book deal this week, and I'm like, well, why would they want to write a book about me? Like, exactly that. The second I got the text message, like, why? So you see, it's still something I'm yearning to get over. But I do know that when when I turned 50, that's why I'm saying these decades of reflection. When I turned 50, I think I looked better than I ever did in my entire life because I was so whole in the inside and so whole in the outside. And so I think the self-doubt and the limiting beliefs in ourselves are something we need to work on all the time. All the time.
Do you have any practical, like, what do you do to like, how did you get over that? So like, are you a meditator? Are you like, do you self-talk in the morning? Are you an affirmation person? Like, what are the tools that you actually use to help you overcome that? We all feel that way. So even in my success, and I still have those feelings of imposter syndrome. I still feel anxious in so many rooms, and I don't feel good enough in so many settings. And I look back and I'm like, girl, look at what you did. And there's parts of me that I look back and then I can pull myself out. But in those moments, sometimes I don't know where it goes. Like, I know that, and I feel strong in myself overall, but I'm not there yet that when like it happens in that moment, I feel like that self-doubt creeps in, that unworthiness creeps in, that feeling of, am I good enough? Like that creeps in. And sometimes I know how to do it later and to pull myself out of it. But in the moment, I still have those feelings. And I know many women do. When does that change? And what are what are you doing? Like, what were the things that you did tactically to get rid of that noise?
Yeah, I love myself. I truly do. I think I'm a really good friend. I'm a good mom. I'm a good wife. I'm a good person. I do the right thing 100% of the time. I just don't. I mean, and it's a self-talk. It's like if you are not your biggest cheerleader and you're always seeking affirmations from others, you're going to constantly be disappointed. When I think my world's falling apart, and I have had several times, my last 3 years have been really difficult. I've had a child that's been suffering, and I'm alone, or I feel like I'm alone, but I'm really not alone because I have me, and I know we're going to win. I'm just not going to give up on my family members. I'm not going to give up on people I love. I'm not going to give up on myself. So the self-talk is critical. In the moments of grief, and we're all going to experience grief, you have to have yourself to be whole. And whether that's a higher spirit, like meditating, God, whatever it is for you, you have to have that belief that everything's going to be okay, because life happens. Life happens. We're all going to experience disappointment, grief. Life is, so wonderful and so hard at the same time. I just don't live in the middle. There's no middle for me. I'm either like looking at my husband the other night. He's like, oh my God, look at our life. We're so blessed.
Yeah. Or
I'm in grief, right? Like, or I'm upset, or I'm dealing with adversity. There's no middle. I'm not going to sit in the middle. I'm either going to be excelling or living life and experiencing disappointment, but getting through it to get back to the happiness that I built.
I love that. There's no middle. I love that. I feel like I really relate to what you're sharing. And do you ever feel like it's like, where does the ambition stop, right? So I want to ask you, because you've achieved so much, okay? Was there ever a point that you were just like, because I ask myself that right now of, I'm entering my 40s. I've built a really successful company. I've sold it. I'm building another one right now. Many people are looking at me like, you're absolutely crazy for doing this again. I feel absolutely crazy to be back at it and building again. I doubt myself again to be like, why am I doing this? But I have this, it's not this like unsatiated thing. Like I'm so content with where I am. And at the same time, I still want to strive for more. And I feel like I still have so much left to give. Where does that, is that normal? I don't know.
Yes,
I'm just
normal. That's purpose.
That's purpose. Okay.
That is your purpose. Now, not all of us have the same purpose, but and that's where mentorship and us seeing ourselves in others, and that's where that really matters, is when you're in the rooms with other women and you're like, oh my God, she's 60 and she still wants to make it. Making it doesn't always need to be tied to a monetary position in life, right? I will tell you that for me, and there is different people, the monetary part of my life is settled. I'm just working for the cherry on top of the sundae now. Like this, I built the cake, the cupcake, I put the frosting on it. Now I'm just working for the cherry. And because we're very sustainable, we know we have enough, more than enough. I still find us playing, yesterday I said, oh, should we buy Tesla stock? I'm still playing the game, right? that's my purpose. That's us building companies. You know, I've tried to build a couple companies the last couple years. They haven't gone that well. And then I still am trying to do it because that's my purpose. We're good at it. And, you know, so no, I don't think you're crazy. You're young. Do it again. You know, I think sometimes doing it again, yeah, I'm cheering you on. I'm thinking it's so great because men do it.
Yeah.
How many times have we heard this man built $3 billion companies? Well, let's hear those stories about women. Let's hear your story doing it again. It's just that you're setting the tone for what's to come. The girls behind you that are 20, that are graduating college, want to be like you. They want to build 1, 2, 3 different billion-dollar companies like men do. So I think it's just because we haven't been taught that that's a necessary, you know, drive for most successful people. We don't want to just do it once. Of course, Rick and I have several successful companies. They only talk about the one, but my husband has a big tech company. It's hugely, highly successful. We're, you know, have huge real estate holdings, highly successful. So we're still doing it. It's just men do it, women want to do it. We're just not taught that that's the path.
I think that's a very fair point that you brought up. And when I was asking you for because you're involved in so many different things, it's like, I look at, was there ever a point, because I feel like the younger me would have been like, oh, now it's time to retire. Like, you do the thing, you make the money, and then you're done. And I get to now like be with my kids. And I struggle with, I think yesterday I posted online some meme of like I want to I want to have I'm boss babing, but I'm like tired of, I want to put my boss babe away and just cook organic food in the kitchen or something like that. Like, it was like, I struggle with wanting, I do have it all. I do feel I do have it all. I have my family life. I'm a great mom. I feel really excited in doing this stuff for the kids. And I do feel really excited for work. I don't know, what your, was there a point in your careers, was there a shift in some of those, or has it always been, I know balance isn't a real thing. There's no such thing as balance, but when was it kind of in flow in one area or not the other? And I just would love your thoughts on mom life and building what you've built, and how has that changed?
Yeah. Well, first off, I think, our society tells us a lot of narratives that I think that we're breaking, right? That first off, women have to choose. Right away, I hear young women that I mentor like, well, I really want to have a baby, but I'm building this company. Like, why do you have to choose? Have a baby. I gave two out of 3 kids, I went into labor at work. Like, why are we having to choose? And so we don't have to choose. What the great thing now is I have a 35-year-old, highly successful son that only sees me as a badass CEO mom. There's no differentiate. That is my role. I built a company as a mom and a wife. There's no different paths, no different journeys for me. Just like even people say, when do you stop working? I don't. I check my emails at 10 o'clock at night because I have a responsibility to 4,800 team members that rely on my company for their life. So I have a responsibility that maybe other women don't, but I'm not going to choose between being, cooking dinner at night and still reading emails. No, maybe I have my laptop open while I have the pan on the stove and I'm cooking up a meal. So yeah, society tells us who's smart. Society tells us what's pretty. Society tells us that women have to choose between being successful at all aspects of life. And no, I don't. I'm very successful at all. I'm a great wife. I'm a great mom. I'm a great Mimi, and I'm a great CEO.
You really are. And I love how much you affirm yourself in your talk. That is something that I'm definitely taking away that I think our listeners are also hearing. And it's just the way you talk about yourself is so beautiful, Patty. And you are all of those things. You 100, that's what I see in you. Every time I've been with you, I could cry. I feel like I've experienced, even just in the moments of our time together, the really, really fun Patty. I don't even remember how half of our night after a certain point, super fun Patty. I've experienced leader Patty. I've experienced the softness in you that you bring, and just making people feel really important. The time that you have is so valuable. You have so many stakeholders in your life, and you still make everyone feel like they are the star of that room. They are the center of attention of that room. And how do you do that? Where does that come from? I strive to be like that.
First off, I will tell you, you are. I mean, the way I found you was I still searching for rooms where I felt like I was going to be around other women that felt the same as I did, because it's still lacking. I mean, men have had the early stages of YPO, men have had the golf courses, men have had a lot of spaces for themselves, and you created a wonderful space that I was searching for, and that's how I met you. So, I think what I see in myself, I see in you, and I resonate towards people. You are who you surround yourself with. You are. And it's going to change. Who I thought was my circle in my 20s is different than who I saw who my circle is in my 60s. And you are a byproduct of who you hang with. So find those spaces in which you feel appreciated, and you're the star of your own show, right? I see in me what I see. I see in you what I have in me. I mean, you don't have to be doing these podcasts. You don't have to do Millionaire Founders Club. You don't have to do any of that. Everybody needs to see you as, it's like not philanthropic, but what you do for other women is what I've been able to do for other women. And so to find somebody like-minded like myself and younger has been really fun for me, but you have it. You love people. You don't have to do what you're doing.
I love you. I appreciate your affirmations in that. It means the world to me. And for our audience, this is I just want you to see it is this journey when you find other women, that there are people like our audience. I do feel is a reflection, our community is a reflection of our values. You have those values, Patty. I have those values. The woman here listening today, she has those values, and I want her to feel seen and at that table, and she does deserve to have it all, whatever all looks like for her. And I want her to feel, and I want you to feel, our listeners, we're all figuring this out. And I think that's what's so wonderful about your story, Patty, is that you keep going. You really do embrace the journey, the word journey. It isn't a destination. And I think as entrepreneurs, we're going through so much, and this, we feel like we have to, it's the destination, it's the milestone, it's the landmarker. It's this, that's what we're on the bus for. But the bus actually doesn't stop. Right?
Yeah.
It's not we think it's this destination, but it really is the journey. And I think you've done such an incredible job of being an exemplary example of that in all aspects. And so I just want to appreciate that about you. And a few final questions. I know we will definitely have you back on for some more just more about your journey. But I just want to kind of get what are some of the moments that, you're just really proud of in your career, some risks that you take, or some any moments that come to mind that these women can take away from to just self-doubt, or to you took the risk and you went on the thing. Because I think half of the battle for us as entrepreneurs and as women is when it comes to the time we're ready to make that decision, we just don't, because there's so much to lose, there's so much to risk. I'd love to hear some of those moments that might come to mind for you.
I think it's really important that we reassess goals, because we keep achieving them, right? And they're milestones in our life, not necessarily the be all end all, but milestones, like you said, in the journey. There's going to be several. I pray that there's several for everyone. Mm-hmm. There's different milestones for me. I think I hold my personal milestones higher than my business milestones. But my business milestone, I'm really proud. I was proud of the ink cover, not just for me, but what it represented for all the women that have been building mortgage companies throughout my career. When you go walk into a mortgage company, it's primarily women working in the back office, women in operations, women in processing, women answering the phones. But yet in leadership, we see all male. So I was super proud that Inc. recognized one of the only CEO female founders of a mortgage company. When mortgage companies serve the American dream, and when we create home ownership. So I was proud for that. I was proud to represent Latinas that are growing small businesses in the country. So for me, those are probably some of the biggest, proudest moments. Inc. was proud. It's symbolic for me. When I was texted I was going to be on the cover, I actually didn't believe it and really didn't tell anybody until 2 days before the cover came out, because I didn't want to tell anybody and then it not happen, because I don't know, there's a self-doubt, right? I don't want to be embarrassed. Oh my God, I'm be on the cover and then I'm not. I was proud to even be inside the cover. So I think, what I've done for other women is really, really important. And I think that if you can see it, you can be it is really, really important. So I was proud for that. Business-wise, I'm proud that we're one of the fastest growing mortgage companies in the country last year, and one of the hardest years of mortgage. I'm proud that I have literally the most successful, beautiful children and like an insane marriage, like an insane love story. And I had somebody call me the other day. I said I should write a movie, but somebody close to me texts me along. One of you young kids use those voice messages, right? I don't even know how to do it. She's probably your age, and she sent me a message. I just want you to know I left my husband. And this was after years of her not being happily married. And I knew it, but, I don't give that advice. It has to be your own decision. And she's like, after I went to your birthday party and I saw the love that Rick had for you, I thought to myself, I deserve that. So to have somebody make a life decision based on them seeing my love story, that's like the best. Because we work hard at that. We work hard at our marriage. Yeah, we do. And I hold tight to it because it's so important for your kids and your grandkids. And, that's what life's all about. So it's our biggest asset that a lot of times we show up least for. And if you're not happy at home, we're not happy at work. So working on your marriage, working on your family is really, really important.
No, it's solid advice. I do feel everything that I've been able to do, it wasn't because of me. Like I'm the luckiest girl in the world because I have the most incredible family. I really, really do. And I know most people are not fortunate to have that. I have super supportive parents. My father passed away, but super, super supportive parents. I have an incredible brother. And then I have a marriage to a husband who is a partner to me, who roots for me, who takes care of, we have our moments, but he is my rock. And without those things, I could not, because I'm happy here. And if I'm happy here, you're 100% right. You can give your best out there. And it is hard because it's not everything's designed that way. And so I am so happy for you that's where you're happy, and you deserve, Patty, you deserve this and so much more. I am rooting for you every step of the way. I could cry giving you a hug right now. When I found out and I saw that, I feel so proud for what it represents. There has not been, I don't think there's been a South Asian on the cover, right? Like it shows there's hope there is a new face of CEO. There's a new face of entrepreneurship. And this is what it looks like. And a lot of the times the businesses, you don't have to have a sexy business. So often the businesses that are shared, the stories that are shared are, beauty businesses or mainstream businesses, consumer businesses. You've built billions of dollars of value, company, a mortgage company that is actually the backbone of what's being served. And that just is, for so many counts, deserves to be recognized. I'm so excited for you. Where can we support you? Like in this next phase, what do you need from us? You have the biggest girl group behind you, women behind you. We're all here from, in our 20s, in our 30s, in our 40s, in our 50s and beyond, rooting for you. How can we support you?
Thank you so much. Listen, I am trying to do the social media thing. It is so hard to have that camera in my face all the time. So supporting me on social media is great.
Got it.
I interact with everybody, sends me messages. It's me. I reply to everybody. I am going to be writing a book. And so that's going to take a lot. I know me being creative, but I'm going to write a book. So, that should be done in about 20 months, I'm told. So, listen, I'm excited for the next chapter. I'm here for anybody who feels alone. And, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you've built. And I admire you just so much. I'm cheering you on for that second $1 billion exit, because those are the stories that are being written today. And I'm excited that you're leading it.
I'm so excited. Well, I'm going to tag Patty. So it's Patty Arvielo on social. So you can find her everywhere. Yes. We're going to share this episode. We're going to root you on. Go check out Inc. magazine and Patty's whole story. Patty, thank you so much for your time today. I cannot wait to see you at the next few events for MFC, give you a big hug, and enjoy all the things that are happening in your family, and go celebrate and continue to spread the love that you do. And I can't wait to have you back. Thanks so much for your time today. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode today. If you did, screenshot this. Let's tag Patty. Let's share it on social. Let's send some love. I'm so excited to have you. So let's do that. I'll tag everything, and I can't wait to see all of you on another episode of CEO School. Bye, everyone.